What's up, guys and gals? It's the Tyrant here. Welcome back to Exploring Halo, and today we're doing the Halo 2 mission Regret, which is what I'm sure a lot of players were feeling when they played this mission for the first time on Legendary. Thank you, Jackal Snipers. So, we're going to explore this mission a little bit right off the bat. I'm going to do something that probably is a no-brainer here. I wanted to first see if Delta Halo was still loaded, since I'm pretty sure at one point in time in development this was supposed to be just one mission. When I go back to the other area, what I do see is that the initial bridge that takes you to the temple is loaded. It's there. If I try to go back to where the Jackal Sniper area is, it just hits me with a complete wall. You can't go back there at all. It's just a big rock here. So when I try to go back to where the ruins were, they're, I guess, technically there, but it looks like the Covenant cruiser fired its glassing beam a little bit early. It looks like just molten slag. So part of Delta Halo is here, but most of it has now been transformed into scenery. The next thing I wanted to see is, since we're in the mission Regret now, if we could get to the temple where the Prophet of Regret is early. Since now we're in the actual mission, I wanted to see if it was loaded. Not to my surprise, while the building itself is actually there, if you do go inside of the building, there's nothing there. It's completely hollowed out. That does not surprise me much either. So since we already kind of figured those two, let's try something new. Let's try to skip ahead in this mission in smaller increments. So the first temple where you take the initial gondola, I tried to go there first. The gondola is there, it's loaded. If I try to hit the switch though, it makes the sound as if you activated the gondola, but the gondola doesn't go anywhere. You can go inside the structure, everything's there, but if you try to access the elevator that is here, you can hit the switch, but again, nothing happens. So you do need to go back and actually trigger the loading zone there. Now, if you try to take the gondola that's initially there that takes off when you get to it, you can get there, and what happens here is it just stops in the middle of the lake, and it does not proceed until the hunters have been killed in the previous area. So you do need to kill the hunters first. Once you do, that triggers the next portion of the mission. So from here, you can actually go and you can take the elevator down into the water. So this is where things really got interesting for me, because one of the things I wanted to explore was the underwater section of this mission. If you try to go into the water at any other point, there's a death barrier there, so you can't actually explore undersea until the mission wants you to. Once you do, I actually went ahead and clipped out of the little elevator thing. And what's funny about this is if you do that, the tracking still takes you along the same path as the tram itself, which I thought was pretty funny. I tried exploring and I was like, I'm not moving. Why is it taking me different places? So that's why, and it's kind of cool. There's a lot of area to explore here. This would be a lot more interesting to see in Halo 2 Anniversary for sure. But yes, you can explore this area once the mission changes. You can actually see a slight color change when this portion of the mission loads. Now, since the area up ahead with the temple and the hunters and the all of the honor guards and stuff is submerged, you can just clip to the wall, and from there, without any sort of movement issue, you can explore completely under the sea. It's very pretty, very ambient. All the ambience here is just absolutely beautiful. I did try to see if I could get unsubmerged here, but no, there's a skybox that keeps you from going back to the surface. So unfortunately, you can't do that, but you can explore as much as you want to. So finally I got to the point, this is what I really wanted to see. I went ahead and traveled to the end of the mission. Since you can actually see the final temple, it's fully loaded and rendered at this point, but if you try to just simply walk over there early, it jumps to the cutscene and then sort of freezes you in place so you can't finish the rest of the mission. However, what I wanted to see here, so I had to redo this whole mission over again to get to that point, but what I wanted to see is, obviously this is the portion of the mission where High Charity and the whole Covenant fleet just sort of warp in the sky above. What I wanted to see here is if I could actually get to the ships, because for those of you who've been watching this series for a while, you know a lot of times when I try to get to stuff that's really far away, the mission just despawns me and I have to start over again. Here, I went ahead and just used the blue trainer to get up there. I used also assembly to sort of speed things up a little bit. And you can actually get to the fleet itself, which I think is pretty freaking amazing. Obviously, the Covenant ships are flat, but they're all individual. They're not like grouped together or anything. They're all in their own personal track, which I think is really awesome and really detailed. They are fairly large. They're, of course, not as large as actual Covenant cruisers would be. They look like they might be about twice the size of the Master Chief, and that's about it. But that's still pretty impressive, considering how many of them are in the sky all at once. But the final thing I wanted to check out here was High Charity itself. Now, I was convinced going into this that High Charity was just going to be a part of the skybox. I mean, why wouldn't it be? But then I thought, okay, well, it doesn't pop in until later on in the mission, so unless they switch out the skybox entirely, which is possible, especially since a cutscene separates this, you know, it could actually be something that's there. So I started traveling to it, and you can tell early on that it's moving with you. So yes, it is an object that is actually there. It is not a part of the skybox like the Covenant cruiser is. When you get closer to this thing, you get a sense of just how massive this High Charity is, even though it's not actually High Charity itself. It's just sort of a hologram representation of it. Not in canon, of course, but just here. So when I get closer to it, I realize, yes, it is certainly there. It's something that I can reach. And I was afraid, again, that the game was going to despawn me at this point, especially since we're just way, way up here. If you look down, we can see the entire map from here, which is pretty awesome. But no, I can actually get to High Charity. It's fairly massive. It's completely humongous, but it is flat. No surprise there, but you can actually reach High Charity from this mission right here, which is just awesome. I did not think that this was going to be a part of the exploration. I thought that it would just be a skybox and that would be it, but nope, here it is. We are above the Covenant fleet at this point, and that is exploring Halo for this particular mission. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. What did you see here that you weren't expecting? Did you expect that High Charity would be a skybox? Did you know that you could explore under the ocean and that there was a lot of stuff there and that you couldn't actually go above the surface of the water until you completed that portion of the mission? Were you expecting Delta Halo to be here? I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories in the comment section below, and I want to take a moment to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy day to sit down and watch this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope you consider subscribing for more great content right here on MythicTyrant.com. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful week. I'll catch you all right back here next time, and as always, I'm the Tyrant, signing off.